Welcome back. Now, rescuers in Turkiye are still pulling people from the rubble, but chances of finding survivors are getting slim. eNCA senior reporter Dasen Thathiah is in Antakya today. He's been traveling with the gift of the givers, who have now located a live victim. Actually, they located a live victim earlier, an 80-year-old woman, Dasen. And the last time we spoke, about an hour ago, you and I, you said that there's a possibility that rescuers would find more survivors. Have they?
Not yet, Maseko, but I'll just walk you through here while I continue to talk to you. That happened earlier on today, that miraculous recovery, a rescue of that 80-year-old woman that was found. I think I'll also give you a disclaimer at this point. There are occasions where the search teams do ask for complete silence because they are trying to listen for survivors. So if at any point our crossing is interrupted, please know it's because of that. They ask everyone on site to be quiet because they need absolute silence when they're using their equipment to find out if there are any survivors. But on that note of survivors, there are two possible survivors that they believe could be under the rubble. You'll see that work is still going on to move some of the bigger pieces of these slabs. That's what this heavy machinery is here for. They need to get rid of all of that, but they have to work very strategically because there is still the possibility of life underneath all of this. As impossible as that sounds, but it's such a story of hope, Maseko, when you really think about it, that 8 days later there is still the possibility of people coming out of this alive. Yesterday there were reports of a little girl, a baby, coming out. There have been other survivors that have been rescued, and now we're hearing of this elderly woman that is among those. And what makes it so incredible is when you look at what's around you here, and you look at these surroundings, and you see that almost everything that used to be here is completely gone. And then you hear of these stories of rescue teams managing to bring people out. And that's really what it's all about. We spoke to the gift of the givers earlier, and they were saying that that's ultimately what they're here for. Even if it's one person that has managed to be saved, and that was through the use of the South African canines, then that is at least one life that is not lost with this rising death toll that we are seeing. I'm bringing you here to Abdurrahman Noor. He was with the team earlier. Abdurrahman, thank you so much for chatting to us. You were a witness. You saw exactly how that unfolded. Are you able to take us through how all of this happened?
We were responding to a local person who was there, and he's desperately looking for his mom, and he told us to come check the spot. We went there with our team, and it was not organized. The whole thing was messy, but we went. Two of our guys went. The Omani team went in, and he detected a possibility of a live person. So we stayed there, and even the people who are not working in the spot, they was telling us to leave the area, but we didn't leave the area. We stayed there. We worked hard. Then eventually we were able to bring her out.
Was the lady still speaking at that time? Maseko, please forgive me. I'm lowering my voice because I see things have gotten quieter. Was the lady speaking at that time? Was she making any sounds when she came out?
It's hard to know if she was speaking because people were shouting when the lady was brought out. They were shouting very loud. That's why we can't tell if she spoke. But I saw her hands move, and she was being given oxygen. So they were giving her oxygen, and I think she was alive.
And she was taken away in an ambulance, yeah?
Yes, the ambulance was there, but the people were closing the way to make to send the person all the way to the ambulance. It was difficult, but we did our best.
And you say her family was here at the time?
Yes, one of her family member was there, and unfortunately he was the one who was calling, who's giving orders. And at the first 30 minutes we were working, they didn't trust us. They was thinking like we're not professional. But after 30 minutes, when we stayed calm, we explained to them. After that, they gave us the green light to start working, and 2 of our guys went in. And after that, we were able to bring it out, alhamdulillah.
Abdurrahman, thank you so much for that. I'll chat to you further in a little bit. Maseko, you know, this is such a story of contrasts, because on the one hand, we're hearing of this story, a story of hope, a story of happiness. And at the same time, while I was waiting to chat to you, I counted about at least 3 bodies that were being taken or transported past me, and that was being carried by members of the communities, possibly relatives of those that have been taken out of this rubble. And that continues to be the story here when you look at these piles of bricks and belongings that people once had. Underneath that, it's still very sobering and very jarring to remember that all of the former occupants of these buildings are underneath all of that.
Yeah, quite a report from Dasen Thathiah, our senior reporter, live for us in Turkiye as rescue operations continue. Death toll apparently now nearing 33,000.